Welcome to Listening Multiple Choice Single Correct Answers. Practice set number 1. Let's go to question number 1 here. Uh, in the single correct answers, you'll only have about 5 seconds in which to read the question and the choices before the audio starts playing. So if you remember, in the multiple choice, multiple correct options, you got around 7 seconds. But anyway, make the most of these 5 seconds, and remember there's only one correct answer. Let's go ahead.
More than punishing the 1%, what they're saying is we are the 99%. What about us? We are a bigger group. We can be strong. We can stand here and occupy someplace and show you and raise awareness that your policies are not benefiting everyone. They're only benefiting a few. So rather than indicting the top 1%, and there are those who do that, but they're really trying to turn the focus on the 99% who they say have been left behind.
Okay, now take 30 seconds and I'd try to identify the correct option. In the exam, the listening section has an overall timer, so there's no fixed time limit on each of these questions. You can spend more time if needed on a question. You just have to be aware of the overall time. So anywhere between 30 seconds to 90 seconds should be alright. And over the course of your practice, as you study, as you prepare for the PTE academic course, you should get an understanding of how much time is the best in your case. How much time should you spend? Because there'll be some question types which you'll find more difficult than the others. So spend more time on them and lesser on others. In this case, take 30 seconds, and if you need more time, you can pause the video and come back to it once you have completed the answer and found the option. Alright, take 30 seconds now. Fifteen seconds. And 30 seconds. So the question asked to you was, what is it that the bigger group wants? So you were supposed to listen to the audio and try to identify a statement which tells what is it that the bigger group needs, what are they saying, what is it that they want. And the correct option is number 3, to draw attention towards the problems faced by the 99%. Looking at the transcript, this is what the audio was, and if you were taking notes properly or you were listening, right, as I've been saying, that you need to be on the lookout for watchwords such as but, therefore, or the point of this is that. So words and phrases like that which indicate that what's coming next is important. So in this case it was, but they are really trying to turn the focus on the 99% of those who have been left behind. Look at the options now. First, the community should identify the 99%. Nope, that's not what they say. They say that they are the 99% and they won't focus on it. The need of more punishment for the top 1%, they don't say that either. So instead, what it's saying is that more than punishing the 1%, they want something else. So this is not a correct option. Third, to draw attention towards the problems faced by the 99%. Yes, absolutely, that's what they are saying. Raise awareness that your policies are not benefiting everyone, trying to turn the focus on the 99% of those who are left behind. So that is the correct option. And the last one, to draw attention towards the strength of the bigger group. No, that's also not they are saying. What they are saying though is that we are a bigger group, we can be strong, we can stand there. But the purpose of the protest is not to disprove the strength, it is to draw attention towards the problems. So that's why option number 4 is not correct. Okay, let's go on and look at question number 2 now.
The Expeditionary Energy Concepts demonstration is where we go to industry and we ask industry and other government organizations to show us what technologies they have developed that can help us solve some of the tactical problems we have. This year, we're focused on making the company landing team more effective. That company of Marines that we want to put in, say, 100 miles deep or 100 kilometers deep on the battle space and be able to wreak havoc behind enemy lines. Give them more mobility and give them the ability to stay out there without being resupplied constantly.
Okay, take 30 seconds, or if you need more time, feel free to pause, and then we'll come back and look at the answer. 30 seconds, start now. Fifteen seconds. And 30 seconds. Please stop. The question was, what is the focus of this year's Expedition Energy Concept demonstration? So this means that the audio is going to be about something called Expedition Energy Concept demonstration, and what we have to listen for is the focus of this year's demonstration. Okay, so they might talk about many different things, and one of those statements would be that this year we are focusing on, or that now we are focusing on. So that's the kind of information you should have listened for, and match that to the options while you were listening. The correct option is to learn about the technology that can help make the company landing team better. Alright, let's look at the transcript. So that's the transcript of the audio, and the main point was, this year we are focused on making the company landing team more effective. So see, this is an instance of looking for specific information while listening, or while reading. Okay, let's look at the options now. The focus is, first, to go to the industry and other government organizations to learn about new technology. Now, that's not the focus. That is generally what the demonstration is about every year. That's not this year's focus. Second, to learn about the technology that can help make the company lending team better. Absolutely, that's what it said there, so it's correct. Third, to discover technologies to position Marines 100 miles deep under the ground. That's correct as well. And number 4, to develop new ways of supplying the army in the battlefield. That's not correct. So the correct option is number 2, to learn about the technology that can help make the company landing team better. Alright, let's go to question number 3 now.
This is tube food. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. Meals encapsulated in things that look like toothpaste tubes, and they come in all types and flavors. From entrees to desserts, and even soups and meats, the assortment of tube food is varied and vast. So, why is the military packing these culinary concoctions into such convenient compartments? Believe it or not, it's all about quality.
Well, the last 2 or 3 years, we've come a long way from where we were. When we used to, we tended to puree things.
So it was kind of like baby food. However, the process has changed.
Changing the thought process to adding more texture and building more layers of flavor instead of just being a puree.
Deb Haley and Dan Natras work at the Natick Soldier Research Center in Massachusetts. Basically, they're the food experts behind the fantastic tubes.
Okay, let's take 30 seconds and then come back and have a look at the correct option. Start now. 15 seconds. And 30 seconds. So the question was, what is true about the tube food based on this passage? So in the 5 seconds you'll look at this and have a quick look at the options, and then get ready to listen to the audio. From the question you can tell that the audio is going to be about tube food, and you have to find that out of the given statements which one is true. The correct answer is 4, that tube food technology has come a long way over the last couple of years. Let's go ahead and see why this is the correct option. So the transcript, as it starts, it tells you that the talk is about tube food, and then there was a specific statement which says last 2 or 3 years we have come a long way from, it's actually from instead of from, where we were when we used to puree things, so it was kind of like baby food. However, the process has changed. So that is the kind of statement that they are making. And see, when you look at the options, right, you would have your eye on all the options, and as soon as they say last 2 or 3 years we have come a long way, then you know that there is an option number 4 which says tube food technology has come a long way over the last couple of years. So that's why it's correct. But before you go ahead and click on the next button, go to the next question, it's always good to review, have a look at all the options. So first option, Deb Haley and Dan Netris are the inventors of tube food mechanism. Does it say that? No, it doesn't say that anywhere. It says that they're experts and they work at the research center. That's all that they say about them, so it's not correct. Second, military uses tube food mainly because of the variety and convenience. So does it say that? Nope, it doesn't say that's the reason why military uses it, so that's why it's wrong. Third, Natick Soldier Research Center in Massachusetts is the leader in food technology. Now again, it doesn't say that. It says that they work there and that's where the work is happening on all of this, but it doesn't say that it is a leader, specifically a leader in food technology, so it's not a correct option. And the last one, tube food technology has come a long way over the last couple of years. Yes, that is specifically said there because it says last 2 or 3 years we have come a long way from where we were when we used to puree things. So now we are sure that option number 4 is correct, and that's what we will go ahead with. The last question in this session, let's start now.
IPO stands for Initial Public Offering. An IPO is when a company, whether it's a mom and pop little store that's getting bigger and bigger, or say a social network conceived in a Harvard dorm room that now has 500 million people who follow it, can get on the radar, attract capital, and basically grow up. Companies want to go public because they want to unlock the value in their enterprise. When you can get investors to pay to buy shares of your company, and then those shares are traded on a stock market like the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange, it also gets you money. When you go public, investors are putting money into your enterprise. It allows you to raise money quickly. One of the downsides is when you are a public company, you are scrutinized by the government. You have to every quarter file your numbers, your balance sheet, to the Securities and Exchange Commission so that your investors and so that the markets can see exactly what you're doing. If you're a private company, you don't have that kind of scrutiny. You don't have investors selling their stakes in your company if you have 1 or 2 bad quarters. So that's one of the reasons why private companies like to stay private.
Okay, let's take another 30 seconds and then we come back and we'll check the correct option. Start now. $15 seconds. and 30 seconds. If you need more time, you can always pause the video and then come back a bit later. Let's go ahead and see the correct option. The question was, what is one of the drawbacks of going public? So drawbacks is, the negative points of going public. So this means that the audio is going to be about going public and maybe the plus and the minuses of it. And you had to specifically listen for the minuses, the negatives or the drawbacks, so as to say. And the correct option was, it opens up the company to a high degree of scrutiny from the government. Okay, now let's go ahead and see why this is correct. So that was the transcript, and it started by saying IPO stands for initial public offering, what it is, etc., etc. And then they start giving different points. When you get investors, that's when you go public. One of the downsides is when you are a public company, you are scrutinized by the government. So or you already know by looking at the question that that's what you have to listen for. So as soon as that comes, that means that's one of the points, right? Now let's look at the options. So downside is the same as the drawback, right? The first option, it opens up the company to a high degree of scrutiny from the government. Yes, that's correct. That's what's written there. So that's the correct option. But before we finalize that and move on to the next question, we should always look at other options, so to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. Second, it brings to the company to a large number of difficult to manage customers. That's not correct. I don't think it says anywhere that you'll have about the customers difficult to manage. Third, it brings a lot of money to the company and unlocks the value in the enterprise. Now this is mentioned, okay, but it says that the companies want to go public because they want to unlock the value in their enterprise. But this is a positive, so it's an advantage, it's not a drawback. So that's why this is not correct. Fourth, it causes your stock to sell on markets like Nasdaq and New York Stock Exchange. So that's a correct statement, but it's correct about what going public or what IPO means, that your stock will start selling on these markets. But it doesn't mean that it's a drawback. So it's not a drawback. So that's why that's not a correct option. The correct option was therefore just the option number 1. Alright, you have completed question number 4, and with that you have also completed set number 1 of listening, multiple choice, single correct answer. Well done. Take a small break, small or big as you want, and then move on to more practice. Set number 2. All the best. Keep it up. Carry on with your preparation. I'm sure you'll do very well.